Hello friends, कैसे हैं आप सब? I hope you are watching my videos that I'm making on the science and mathematics of class 8. So today we'll try to learn the keywords of chapter 13. The title is light. If you have the old book, there the chapter number is 16. In new book it is 13. So what we'll do, we'll pick up few words. I think there are about 18 words. So we'll see how many words we can do in one video. I'll try not to make it a very long video. So let's come to the first word. Angle of incidence. So when a light ray strikes a surface, it bounces back. And if we draw a normal at the point of incidence, then the angle between the incident ray and the normal is called angle of incidence. This is the incident ray, it is being reflected here, and this is the normal. At the point of incidence, so angle between incident ray and the normal is called the angle of incidence. Okay? Now we'll come to the second point. Angle of reflection. This is the angle between the normal and the reflected ray. The ray bounces back at the point of incidence, and the angle between the normal and the reflected ray is called the angle of reflection. Okay? Now let's come to the third point. Blind spot. This is the point in our eye. This is our eye. This is the lens. This is the optic nerve. This is retina. Retina, optic nerve. The point where the optic nerve joins the retina, that is called the blind spot. And even the blood vessels enter into the eye through this point. Why it is called blind spot? Because at this point there are no sensory cells. Otherwise, retina contains sensory cells which send electrical signals to the brain and we see an image. Because there are no sensory cells here, any light that falls here does not generate any electrical signals and therefore no image is formed. Okay? Because the light falling here does not generate an image in our brain, we say it is a blind spot. We can't see anything if the light falls only at this point. So this is called blind spot. The spot where the optic nerve and retina meet, any light falling on the blind spot does not generate any image in our brain. So that is point number 3. 4. Braille. This is a system of making patterns with dots. The people who are visually impaired, who cannot see, their eyes are damaged, they can read the words or understand the words by touching those dots. They touch the patterns of those dots and try to understand what is the word written there. The words are written in the pattern of dots. So Braille is a system of the dots which help the visually impaired to understand the words. Next word is cone. These are sensory cells which are found in retina. When any light falls on the sensory cells, they generate electrical impulses which enter our brain through optic nerve and we see an image. And cone cells are sensitive to bright light. The cone cells of the eye are sensitive to bright light. Okay? Diffused or irregular reflection. I think first I will tell you the regular reflection, which is the word down below. Regular reflection. When a parallel beam of light, that means our rays are parallel to each other, they fall on a surface and the reflected rays are also parallel. The incident rays are parallel and the reflected rays are also parallel. That is called regular reflection. In regular reflection, the rays of the reflected beam are also parallel if the rays of the incident beam are parallel. If these are parallel, they will also be parallel. So that is called regular reflection. But if the rays of the reflected beam are not parallel, then it is called irregular or diffused reflection. This normally happens when the reflecting surface is not perfectly plane. It is uneven. So mirror का जो surface होता है perfectly होता है plane. But let us say a paper the surface is not evenly plane. So when, let us say, light reflects from a paper or cardboard, the reflected light will be irregular or diffused reflection because the reflected rays will not be parallel. They will go in different directions. Okay, let us say these beams are parallel, but the reflected rays could be in different directions. Reflected rays will be non-parallel in the case of diffused reflection. So we have understood both the words irregular reflection and irregular reflection. Next word is incident rays. Rays that strike a surface are called incident rays. For example, the rays that are falling on this whiteboard are incident rays. The rays that are falling on this wall are incident rays. The rays that are falling on this cabinet are incident rays. They are striking the wall or the whiteboard or this thing. And in our example, this is the mirror. This is the beam of light striking the mirror at this point. This is incident ray. It is falling on the mirror or striking the mirror. Iris. Iris is a part of the eye, and it is colored part of the eye. Our eyes get color because of the color of the iris. So it is colored part of the eye. Secondly, it is a muscular structure which is behind the cornea. And what it does? It controls the size of the pupil. If we are in bright light, the size of the pupil will become smaller so that less light enters our eye. And if we are in dim light, the size of the pupil will become large so that more light can enter our eye. So the amount of light that will enter into eye will depend on the size of the pupil, and size is controlled by the iris, the muscular structure that is in our eye behind the cornea. It has a color and it controls the size of the pupil. Now let us come to the next word, kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is an instrument normally made of 3 glass strips, mirror strips. It is made of 3 mirror strips which are arranged in the shape of a prism. And at one end of this tube of the glass, there are 2 plates fixed to it, and between these two plates, there are broken pieces of glasses and plastics. So when we look from the other end, we see different patterns inside the kaleidoscope which are formed by reflection through 3 mirrors. And if we rotate the kaleidoscope, the patterns change. Every time you get a new pattern. You can get a number of patterns by rotating the kaleidoscope. So it's an instrument normally made of 3 mirrors, and there are 2 glass plates at one end, and in between the glass plates there are glass pieces or broken pieces of bangles, and when we look from the other end, we see different patterns formed by reflection by 3 mirrors. So I think we have done almost half the words. The remaining words we'll do in the second video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 words we've done. It's becoming slightly longish video. So we'll do the remaining words in the second video. Okay? So if you like my video, please share it with your friends and subscribe my channel. Okay? Thank you.